Hey, what's up? I'm Killarney. Thank you so much for being a patron at the artist level. What that means is whether you consider yourself a musical artist or not, I'm going to see if I can help turn you into one. If you've always wanted to, play a song by ear, make a really cool cover of a song you've heard, or just kind of learn to improvise and write cool stuff, the piano is actually the easiest way to do that. So I'm hoping that with these little lessons I'm going to show you the basics and give you the actual tools to make sense of the keyboard and try to make some stuff up yourself. And the good news is you don't need to understand a lot of this to make stuff up. You don't have to have any musical training. I started making stuff up at age 3. I didn't have lessons till I was 6. But if you want to learn to play by ear, or even just improve on some of the stuff you come up with naturally, I'm going to be showing you, starting with this episode, ways that you can organize the keyboard in your mind so that you can just have more flexibility and imagination. So I'm just going to start with the key of showing you everything today in the key of C, just because it's all white notes. You don't have to worry about any accidentals. It's easy to remember. Now, I'm not going to be teaching you like the letters of the notes, like this is C, this is D, this is E. Actually, that's irrelevant. I'm going to be teaching you the numbers method, the numbered tones of the scale, using the key of C to illustrate. So, starting with C, all right, since it's the key of C, this is number 1. Pretty easy, right? So, and so on and so forth. 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, 6, 7, and back to 1. You can say 8, which is where we get the word octave, or you can say back to 1. There are basically 7 tones that you need to be aware of. So, each of these also has an actual name to it. I'll name 3 of them right now. So the number 1 is called the tonic. The number 4 is called the subdominant. And the 5 is the dominant. So tonic, dominant, and those are obviously in direct opposition to each other. And then the subdominant is right under the dominant. Pretty easy. The reason I'm pointing out 1, 4, and 5 first is because they are so commonly used in music. So any song that you want to learn like by ear, pretty much if it's in a major key, even if it's in a minor key, it's going to very often use 1, 4, and 5. And by that, I mean you can make a chord on each one of these tones. So as an example of using 1, 4, and 5 chords in a song, una poca de gracia y arriba, and so on and so forth. So I'm sorry, that was the worst rendition ever of La Bamba. Anyway, so you can hear like, and I'll get into, in another lesson, I'll get into like why I'm mixing the notes of the chords up and yet they still sound like those chords. That's a trick that's really easy to learn. We'll cover it in another lesson. But I do want to point out where this came from. Came from not only like gospel and church music, but way back before that, in Western music, very common, to have these chords in classical music. So like Mozart. So that was 1, 5, 4. So we're using the F. Back to the 1, 5 chord. You can kind of tell by the bass. Okay, so that's where we get that from. You're going to find at least a 1, a 4, and a 5 chord in many pop songs, songwriting situations. Time to move on. So the next kind of numbered tone that you want to be aware of, that's the next most common to throw in the mix, is the 6. Okay, it seems really random. What are we talking about? 1, 4, 5, 6? No. Okay, so don't think of that as a melody. Think of it like this. And then going down to a 6 chord. And then a 4 chord. And a 5 chord. And that leads us back to a 1 chord. That's a super common chord progression that you're going to find also in a lot of songs, like every breath you take. I'm going to play like really stupid Mozart style. Every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take. clever too. Like, so the basic numbers again are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and back to 1. And I wonder how many of you watching have, or if you think about it, might realize that you have synesthesia. I do. What that means is I see colors I see letters and numbers in color. So it's really easy for me to remember music because I remember it in numbers and colors. So even if I'm hearing the music and I'm trying to puzzle out what the chords are, my brain's assigning colors to them so that later when I sit down at the piano, I have a visual for it as well as kind of an oral memory. So it's a cool trick. If you kind of either have it or you don't, but some people don't realize they have it until they hear someone like I'm doing right now, like put a name and a description to it. But if you have synesthesia, awesome, all the better for you. If you don't, no big deal. What I do for my little kids when I was teaching piano to really young beginners, instead of the note names or even the numbers, I would put colors on the keys and try to teach them the tones by color. So C was orange, and I had little, and for you, like if you see C in a different color, then completely ignore what I'm saying and put your own colors on the right keys. But what I would teach little kids is C is orange, like vitamin C, D is blue, like a dolphin, E is yellow, like an egg, the egg yolk, F is green, like a frog, G is, purple, like grapes, A is red like an apple, and B is brown. So that can help you memorize and really understand the relationships between these tones as well. At the very least, if you don't have synesthesia and that's just useless to you using colors, that's totally cool. At the very least, maybe put the numbers on there or just really work on memorizing the numbers because it'll really help you with your kind of spatial and oral relationships as you learn to combine different notes and intervals and different chords to make, whether it's your own music or covering a tune. So what I want you to do is go and either put colors on your keys or notes. Don't put notes, put numbers. I really don't care about the notes right now. Notes are irrelevant. All you need to understand is the system, which is the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Super simple. Later, we'll learn like other keys to transpose to. We'll learn other ways to put chords. We'll learn how to listen so that you can understand the difference between the chords. Cool stuff. But start with the basics. Go practice it. I'm going to check on you. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below. Let me know how clear or totally confusing this was. Let me know if you have an idea for another lesson in the future, and I'll see you next time.